Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today I have a very special bottle to review. This bottle was recommended to me by my buddy Brandon Rodriguez, and when he told me about it, I hadn't heard of it before. Then I started doing some research, and I wasn't able to find it anywhere, but I found it today at MDP Liquors in Orlando, and it is this bottle right here, WB Saffell. Now, WB Saffell is part of the Whiskey Barons collection that was done by Compari. Compari, if you don't know, is the parent company of Wild Turkey, and this bottle is essentially like their throwback bottle. They tried to revitalize the WB Saffell brand. WB Saffell was an actual distiller up until Prohibition, and then once Prohibition hit, he just stopped. He wasn't able to continue making whiskey. So he just kind of quit, and they are trying to revitalize this brand along with Old Rippy and Bond and Lillard, I think is how you say it. And apparently this is really, really good. So this is batch number 1. It's been around for years, I think at this point 2 or 3 years. Comes in 107 proof. This is not cheap. This 375 was $50. So if it was, scaled up to a full bottle, you're talking $100. So I expect really good things out of this, and I've heard nothing but good things. But let's go ahead and jump into this. Oh, by the way, this is a mixture of 6, 8, 10, and 12-year-old Wild Turkey distillate, and it is supposed to be kind of capturing that old pre-Prohibition era style whiskey, bourbon in this case. I'm not going to pour a lot of this for a multitude of reasons, one of which this is like very expensive, all things considered. But let's go ahead and see if the 1920s live up to the hype. That nose is unbelievable. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I said this already, but it comes in at 107 proof. There's definite age on this. I would immediately smell this and go, yes, this is some sort of older bourbon. The color is a little lighter than you would think it would be for something that is, as old as it is. A blend of 6, 8, 10, and 12. I would assume the 12-year-old is like the least amount in the whiskey itself. But this smells like butterscotch and floral. There is a little bit of alcohol kick on this, I will be honest with you, but it isn't unpleasant. And a lot of times those like really cheap bourbons have that gross like nail polish smell. It's not like that. But there's definitely some butterscotch, some flour, and like a hint of something else. I'm trying to place what it is. I can't tell what it is. It's sweet, but it's not like, it might just be corn dustiness. I think that's what it is. Man, that smells really, really nice. Very earthy smell to this. Almost musty in a way. Smells great. All right, let's give it a mouthing and see where we stand. Cheers. Whoa. Yo, they were drinking good back in the Prohibition days. Caramels. Some bitter oak. But here's what's interesting. The oak is very bitter, but the sweetness from the corn, and it's like a honey bitter taste, works so well together. It's like balanced. You get very extremes, and you can tell that there's two very different extremes, but they play well together here. The mouth feels pretty good. It's got some heat to it. But that is... Man, this one's confusing because it's very, very good, but this is definitely not something for everybody. It doesn't really remind me of Wild Turkey, to be honest with you. I'd have to go back to my Rare Breed and my Kentucky Spirit. That is very interesting. I really like that. I don't know if this is still readily available. It is in Orlando. If you go to MDP Liquor, they had a few bottles of this. I almost wish I could get another one because this one's so interesting. It leaves a very sweet taste on your lips. And it's very honey, almost like honeycomb. There are some serious baking spices in there. The mash bill on this, I had wrote it down, 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley, and they use a level 5 alligator char on the barrel. So there's definitely that really intense barrel note. That's the first thing I pick up. But it's like honey and that, and then like nutmeg and like some baking spices, like nothing I can like distinguish, but it's that feeling like cinnamon, kind of, not like cinnamon candy, like cinnamon powder. That is a damn good, and I mean damn good, sip of whiskey. Thank you for the recommendation, Brandon. I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to get my hands on this. He was calling this a pappy killer. I wouldn't go that far. You guys know how I feel about the Old Rabbinical 10-year. It's my favorite bourbon of all time. I don't think this is even close to that. But this is really, really solid. If you can find this, get your hands on this, I would recommend you do so. But go into it with a little bit of like, this is not what you're typically thinking when you think of like a super sweet, allocated, soft bourbon. It's not that. But that's cool, because if everything tasted the same, there'd be no fun. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers.